Good day, and thank you for tuning in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. For all of our new listeners and viewers who are tuning in for the very first time, I'm Pastor Pope, and thank you for allowing us to come into your viewing environment. We are here with you every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, to address whatever topics you might like to discuss, whatever issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. We are here every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, scheduling permitted, right here live in the FijiWater.com studio. We are here because God is concerned about that which concerns you. So whatever's in your heart, whatever's on your mind, we are here to address those topics that are important to you and those issues of life you find challenging or that you find difficult to navigate. And as always, 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast, is brought to you by Fiji Water, Earth's finest water. You may already know that Fiji water comes from Fiji. However, did you know that it is created by nature? It is untouched by man. It starts as a tropical rainfall which slowly filters through layers of volcanic rock, where the water collects in a natural, sustainable artesian aquifer, where it is bottled right at the source, free from human contact until you unscrew the blue cap. Fiji Water, Earth's finest water, will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. This is not just water, it's Earth's finest water at FijiWater.com. And for those of you who continue giving on the Give segment of our app at New Life Delaware, and for those of you that have made a weekly or monthly commitment to support the broadcast by giving on the contribution pages of our websites at NewLifeMinistriesInternational.com and NewLifeInternationalCDC.com, we thank you for your continued support and your continued commitment, as we are here to fulfill our commitment to you and to God every Monday through Friday from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So I want to say to all of our listeners and viewers, it appears that we are back up on Facebook after the outage on Monday, and we are Facebook Live, and of course we were YouTube Live on that day. YouTube didn't go out, so we are always YouTube Live, and we are on RadioFreeNetwork.com. Go to RadioFreeNetwork.com, click on the radio link, the Dropbox will appear, click on the New Life link, and every broadcast will be available to you right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast. I want to begin by addressing a communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have been missing the opportunity to travel like you did before the pandemic, and it is causing you some anxiety, and you said in your communication even some depression. And you want to know what can you do to address these feelings that you're having right now. And I'm going to begin with this. First and foremost, you have been traveling a lot. You travel a lot. And your travel prior to the pandemic was something you enjoyed doing. And many people have that desire. So that's what's causing your anxiety. I'm going to stay with the anxiety first and foremost, because you can't move around the way you've always moved around. Some people like moving around more than others. That's your persona. You like to travel and you like to post. The one thing you've got to remember is that you cannot allow this pandemic to cause you anxiety or depression. It will come to an end. It is in the process of coming to an end. The health aspect of it is improving. More people are getting vaccinated. More people are masking. More people are taking the necessary precautions. More people are washing their hands more than they ever had before. There's better hygiene than people have ever had in the past. So all of that is a positive, that it is coming to the end of the health aspect. You know, as far as the economics are concerned, there's going to be some change in that. I was having a conversation with my wife regarding that this morning. We all need to be prepared for the changes that will occur because of the trends that we're seeing. But the reality is that it is coming to an end. You will be able to travel again. And you have to recognize that if you allow it to disrupt your psyche, cause you anxiety, cause you depression, it's going to have an impact on your health. And you don't want it to have an impact on your health when you have been protected from the virus itself by taking the vaccine. So you've been masking, you've been vaccinated, and you've been wise about not traveling the way you were before the pandemic. See, I'm a firm believer, and I know this is going to have an impact on, the airlines. I know the airline industry. I know it's going to have an impact on our shareholder value of those of us who have shares of airline companies. But I think that what we have to do, what we needed to do, because even that's changed now. They've taken the necessary precautions to ensure that you can travel virtually risk-free with the airlines. But here's what we needed to focus on. We should have reserved travel for first of all, for corporate travel, for those who need to travel for business, and for family emergencies, so that, and people didn't really give this a lot of thought, but I'm going to share this. If, once companies were able to reopen, if we had reserved travel for corporate travel, family emergencies, and travel necessities, meaning if you already had flights booked, then the airline's honoring those flights. Those are really not travel emergencies, but they're travel necessities for the airlines. So we should have taken advantage of doing that. Now, they have made some modifications for everyone to be safe and secure on the airlines, so now we're back to being able to fly for corporate travel, for family emergencies, and for travel necessities. Okay, because we still would have been able to keep the airlines flowing, doing all of those necessary things that needed to be done. But having said that, travel for the purpose of entertainment or travel and leisure was limited anyway because many of the countries weren't allowing people to come in without quarantining once they arrived. So there's some ebbs and flows that people have differences of opinions about, and all that's good. I encourage people that if you wanted to move around during the pandemic at all, once we were reopened, to get in your car and drive. Do some weekend trips or day trips on the weekend to different locations that have taken necessary precautions. There are things we could do to help to keep the economy operating, flowing, but at the same time remain safe and healthy and well. You just want to be able to go, and that's not important right now. What's important is staying healthy, staying well, and doing your part for humanity. Now, having said that, because we're coming to an end, you will be able to travel again. Travel's never going to go away, because now that we found a way to get from one place to another in an expedient period of time, making it more effective and more efficient for all of us, you will be able to go back to travel. I've had conversations with people who I personally know that have been traveling by private jet. So there are ways to do this. If we're doing it for the purpose of business, if we're doing it for the purpose of attending to family emergencies, or out of travel necessity, as I talked about. If you've already booked airline tickets, you're able to get on a flight and space yourself out if we're really only focused on those three things. But because we had never been through a pandemic before, people were trying to, for lack of a better term, resist the pandemic by just trying to keep life as normal. Well, life was not normal for the last 18 months. It hasn't been normal for the last 18 months, give or take. And we understand that. We know that. Those of us who are rational understand that this is not a normal time in which we live. But we can thrive through this. And that's what I was constantly saying to people. We don't want to just survive the pandemic. We want to be able to thrive through the pandemic. And in order to thrive, we take the precautions, we do the necessary things that we can do to keep things moving forward. Don't allow this to become a source of anxiety or depression for you. And you have that choice to make. Just accept that you're not able to travel the way that you might like to travel. In business, we're doing a lot of different things. Whereas normally, perhaps we would have moved around to go to different locations to conduct business. Now, you may hire an attorney in that area to do what needs to be done. You might hire someone who has a particular type of practice to handle business in that particular way. You might hire contractors in that region to do. There's a lot of things that we could do that we didn't do because many of us went into panic mode, and we were either shut down mentally and emotionally, or we were resisting and trying to combat against the pandemic, which was a fruitless effort. You can't buck the system, basically, is what I'm saying. You can't just say, I'm not going to do it because I'm not going to do it. You have to rationally think your way through the process and determine a methodology that's going to allow us to be effective, efficient, and continue to thrive. Be patient. Be still and know that God is in control of all of this. Be patient, and when this comes to an end, you can go back to doing what you might normally do, perhaps just in a different way. We are all going to come to the end of this together. And that's the only way we're going to be able to thrive through this, is to do it together. The problem that we have right now is that the reason we're only surviving this is because we're not together. We're not united in this effort. And once we get on that page, remember, the Bible tells us that every house divided against itself shall not stand. Every city or country divided against itself shall be brought to desolation. We've got to get back to a place of unity. We've got to get back to a place of, we can be on two different sides of the line, but as long as we get close to the line and we're able to communicate with one another, being masked, and say, this is what I'm going to do to help us thrive, and this is what you're going to do to help us thrive, then we're going to be in a better place. This too shall pass. It will come to an end. Relax. Enjoy some quiet time. Keep doing what you need to do to thrive, to enjoy a great quality of life, and you will find that this shall pass. This too shall pass. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. If you are not currently a T-Mobile customer, nor have you been for the previous 90 days, you may call or text on the T-Mobile call or text line at 267-992-1424. We will place you into our queue so that you may become a T-Mobile customer and experience America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network at no extra charge. Taxes and fees are included in your bill, and if you auto pay by attaching a credit card to your account, you will receive a discount on your monthly bill at T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G provider at no extra charge. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that your husband says that your spending has gotten out of control or out of hand, you said, and it is causing conflict in your marriage. And you want to know, how do you make him understand that shopping is therapy for you? Well, I'm not going to be able to help him understand that. I'm not going to be able to help you help him to understand that, because it's not rational that we use shopping as therapy. You know, once upon a time, people window shopped as therapy. They didn't spend their money. They would just go out and see what was available in the window to shop. And then, of course, we built these massive malls and that created an opportunity for, you know, real estate investment trust, and that created opportunity for generating revenue per square footage. And so people were able to go out and walk the malls and shop. Walking the mall was good exercise, but it led to people then saying, I've got to go inside the stores. And when you go inside the stores, it's okay to go and see what's available. If you need something, it's okay to purchase when you need something. But their revenue per square footage is what retailers are trying to drive, and revenue per customer. So you have to understand that there's a method to separate you from your money. Now, I'm a shareholder in retail also, so, you know, I'm not telling anyone to get away from purchasing. We all are going to need certain things. And then there's going to be some things that we just want. And that's okay. But you have to be able to manage your capital like you manage your time. And if you show me someone that wastes their time, I'll show you someone that wastes their money. And if you show me someone that wastes their money, I'll show you someone that wastes their time. Because there's a direct correlation. It's time value to money. So what you have to recognize is that you can't help him understand that, because he understands that spending out of control disrupts the quality of your life. Now, I could stop right there, but I'm not. And so retail therapy is not a real thing. It is something that people have decided will give them immediate gratification. And what retailers have decided is that if they can create an environment that is conducive for you to be emotionally satisfied, it would become your therapy. You have to recognize that everything has a purpose and everything has an appropriate time. And what that looks like is that you want to only purchase when you need something. The rest of the time, what you want to do is save your money, so that I'm talking about your money that is placed on your budget for certain items should be saved. If you have money on your budget, which everyone should, for clothing, it should be saved until you need to purchase something. And then when you purchase high quality. so that you don't have to replace it continuously. Because that's just costing you more money. The reason people do that, buy things that are inexpensive and lack quality, is because it gives them immediate gratification when they can purchase something. We have to do better with our capital allocation, our wealth building, our wealth preservation. All of these are going to be important factors. So I'm going to encourage you to stop the madness. It's not therapy. It really isn't. It's immediate gratification. And immediate gratification is not therapy. Therapy is something that you develop over time, that you engage over time to improve the quality of your life, to enhance the quality of your life. Shopping every week is not enhancing the quality of your life. In fact, it's disrupting your finances, which is the reason that you and your husband are having the conflict in the first place. So we have to recognize the importance of allocating our capital properly. So let me just take out a moment for all of our listeners and viewers, now that I've answered, or I should say responded to your question, because I'm not the one to help your husband understand that. Because if it doesn't make dollars, it doesn't make sense, and it doesn't make sense. So for all of our listeners and viewers, I'm going to encourage you to be more intentional about your spending. We've talked about this previously in the past on the broadcast, right here in 3D. And one of the things that I often tell people is that I like to buy things that have a lifetime warranty. I've been doing that as long as I can remember. No, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. So since the 80s, how about that? That's a long time, but that's since the 80s. And the reason is because I recognize that there's a time value to money. And if I buy something in the 80s that I'm still able to use today because it has a lifetime warranty, then that's to my advantage, because over time I'm getting the return on that investment that I really want to obtain, that I want to experience. So anything you can find that has a lifetime warranty, that's great. Money that's on a line item on your budget for clothing, for accessories, save that until you can buy something of quality that will last you a long period of time, that doesn't go out of style, that it's not a trend, it's not, it's not the new it thing, it's not the in thing, it's a legacy item. That's why you purchase, because you need something that will last. Now, obviously, shirts, ties, they go out of style. Once upon a time, in the corporate environment, we all wore white shirts. Now we add a little color to our scheme, but that at least allows us to cycle them out over time. When you have white shirts, they don't go out of style. White is white. and we would always wear white shirts, and then when they wore out, we replaced them. We just have to do a better job about allocating our capital. And right now, you're not allocating your capital effectively and efficiently, and that's why you and your husband are having conflict. You've got to do a better job of that. So I want to encourage you to just go to your husband and say to him, listen, I'm going to revert back to the budget. I'm going to see, and this is the problem. People will, you have a line item on your budget, and because you don't need to purchase this month anything, most people don't save that money. They take it off the budget and allocate it someplace else, or they spend it someplace else. save it if it's a line item on your budget, because eventually you will need it. It's on the budget for a reason. It's there for a reason. The easiest thing to cut back on is entertainment. The easiest thing to cut back on is your entertainment budget, because it's the only thing that's on the budget that is for our own social benefit. Everything else that's on a line item on your budget is there for a purpose. Save the money so that when you need something, it is there for you to allocate. This segment of the broadcast is brought to you by Charles Tyrwhitt, located in London, the UK. They also have stores in New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., and at the King of Prussia Mall in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. So if you're in any of those areas, stop in at the retail store. They have everything a man could possibly need. They have shirts for men, ties for men, suits for men, and accessories. If you're not in any of those areas, you can order from Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. Right now they have 3 shirts that you can purchase, high quality cotton shirts or high quality polo shirts for $99. Charles Tyrwhitt at ctshirts.com. And The White Company, located in London, the UK. They also have a store in New York on 5th Avenue. If you're in New York, stop in at their retail store. They have everything you could possibly need. They have home goods, clothing for men, women, and children. If you're not in New York, you can order from The White Company at thewhitecompany.com. They too will ship and deliver right to your front door in an appropriate period of time. And I want to take out a moment to remind all of our listeners and viewers that on tomorrow, we will have with us right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast from 12:30 p.m. until 1 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Not scheduling permitted, we will be here with Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist, BeccaTheDietitian.com, right here with us to discuss a monthly topic as our monthly contributor. You don't want to miss this tomorrow. We are going to receive information that will enhance our health and wellness right here in 3D, the Daily Divine Direction broadcast with Rebecca Buva, licensed and registered dietitian and nutritionist. You can go to our website at BeccaTheDietitian.com. You can click on the media link. You will see all of the broadcasts that she has done right here in 3D. And you will find information that will certainly enhance your health and wellness. I'm going to address another communication that came in from one of our listeners and viewers who indicated that you have a friend who is self-consumed about everything. You said when you are with her, it's all about her. When you talk to her on the phone, it's all about her. She's just self-consumed. And you said, how do you address this issue without hurting her feelings? You know, the interesting thing about this is people are who they are. You really can't address this with her without hurting her feelings. What you're going to have to do is decide just how much time you're willing to give her. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to cut her off. That just means that when you talk to her, you're going to give her a certain amount of time, and you're going to have a conversation with her. And because she dominates the conversation with everything that's going on with her, you can let her have her time. And when that time comes to an end, if you say, I'm going to give, you're not going to say this to her, obviously, but if you say to yourself, within yourself, I'm going to give her 30 minutes. When 30 minutes are up, you need to cut off that conversation. If you spend less time with her in person, maybe only spend once a month with her in person. She's your friend, I get it. Spend once a month with her in person, and that will limit the amount of time that you allow her to dominate your life or dominate your time. Because what you have is a one-sided friendship. She's not concerned about what's important to you. She's only concerned about what's important to herself. 3D, today's Daily Divine Direction broadcast has been brought to you by Fiji Water, A taste of paradise will be delivered right to your front door when you subscribe for delivery, and you'll save money at FijiWater.com. May God bless you today. May God keep his face turned towards you. May God give you peace that surpasses all understanding. Have a great day today. I look forward to being in your viewing environment tomorrow. God bless you.